Wait, I can't hear.
There you go.
There it is.
Can you hear us now?
It's been doing that by default lately. It just doesn't want to talk to us.
That's
Okay.
better. I
Either
can hear you
that-
now.
Okay, otherwise you just have to read lips.
Yeah.
So,
She just says, okay. That does.
okay, Corinne, when you're ready,
Yeah, I'm ready,
you ready?
ready.
Lisa, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna call the select board meeting of August 18th, 2025 to order. It is 5:16 PM. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none. Is there any public comment? No public comment. All right, approve the bill for payment. So we have our financial snapshot and we have our warrant. Are there any questions or any discussion on this? No.
I'll make the motion that we approve the warrant.
Blair makes the motion to approve the warrant.
I will second.
Tim seconds. Further discussion? No? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you again, Lisa, for the snapshot.
You're welcome.
Parks and Rec,
Oh,
Gene.
wait,
What?
Bills for, approved bills for payment, we have to discuss.
CIE.
Oh, the CIUUSD.
Yes, please.
Okay, so Lisa, you want to fill us in on that one?
Yeah, so we have not a formal agreement, but we have an agreement with the CIUUSD to pay them on the first Tuesday following the first Monday of the select board meeting. After our tax payments, so that's September, December, March, and June. And because you're not having a meeting in September on the first Monday, I was wondering if we could set up a way to approve that payment. We don't have the numbers from the state yet, so I couldn't put it on the warrant. So we don't know what that number is yet, but it's usually around $500,000.
Yeah, it's one of those good numbers.
It's one of those good ones. It's one of the big ones.
Okay. Well, what's the board's pleasure? I mean, I'm around. If it's right around that $500,000 and it's not $1 million.
I hope it's
then-
not $1 million.
Well, then I'd entertain a motion there that I can go ahead and sign off on that beforehand.
I'll make a motion that you take Carl, then sign off on the CIUUSD invoice.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Tim seconds. Any further discussion? All right, and I'll do that on my own volition here as far as if I don't like the number. Whether or not I sign. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Who was that second?
Tim,
Thank you, Tim.
And I'll send it out to everybody. So everybody. can-
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect, and then everybody can chime in.
If somebody has a question or something, so,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
so, all right, thank you. Gene, you're up there. Parks and Rec, approval for the roof, repair of the roof.
Gonna be greater than 3,000, so I need your okay. We have not voted for it yet because we just got the quote at Parks and Rec, but because of schedules, I'm here first to get a kind of blanket okay, and then we'll vote on it at our next meeting. Right now, the estimate is around 3,500, but that doesn't include multiple layers on the roof. And so it's probably gonna be another 500 to 1,000 more. So we're looking to spend up to $4,500 on repairing the roof. The shingles are just blowing off in the wind right now. We don't have any leaks, but we want to get it done before the fall, and we're having trouble finding a vendor to contractor to do that. So we're hoping, and we've got somebody that would do it in October. And, I'm just asking if it can go up to like,
Well, I've got somebody too that I can throw you the name of somebody.
you do?
Oh, yeah.
I'll take it. Cause we've been banging on doors and
Oh, no, no, I use them all the time.
perfect.
So, but he'd be more than willing, I'm sure, to come on out and measure it up and give you a price.
That would be great.
Okay,
And it's in your budget.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, so we're gonna to juggle around a few things, we were gonna repair and replace sections of the fence at Ingalls, we'll push that off till next year. So we can absorb this in our budget by juggling a few things.
Very good.
okay.
Say 5,000 just in case.
That going to include the labor, or
That's labor and that's the whole deal package.
that's pretty good.
It's not a big roof.
Yeah.
You can get another 3 years out of that.
That's what we were hoping.
That's in rough shape.
Yeah. It's growing stuff.
I'll make a motion to, pre-approve up to 5,000 is what you would like for, roof replacement at camp, for the,
Cabin.
outbuilding at, Camp Ingles.
Do I have a second?
Second,
There, seconds. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, and thank you.
Let them know that I sent you along. I don't get kickbacks, but,
You're welcome to stay.
all right, thank you, Gene. Okay. On to the next here, hazard mitigation plan update.
So the update is, we're pretty much wrapping up. She's gonna put together and type up everything as the final for us to look at. Once we approve it, and then we'll be submitting it to the select board for review. Then it'll go out to FEMA,
Okay,
thank you.
so.
thank you very much. Okay, on to public works. Tracy,
Well, the biggest obstacle we've come across is the. I would say the water department, but we'll call
It is,
water-
yeah.
Water department's asking for a road cut on station, so that we would be previously discussing that, so. Try to do it with just no road closure, if at all possible. I'll talk with them today, I did. And I'll discuss that a little bit further with the regular guy that's in charge tomorrow, and also the escalated contractor.
okay, now just to give you a little some history on that, the water line is like underneath the part of the pavement as it is. They've got to open this up because the valve that they got to put in is a good sized valve, so they're gonna have to open it up. So anyway, I mean, it's not, they can't repair it underground, so, or they can't put in this new valve underground, so.
Why do they need another curb cut?
They need that, they have to cut the road in order to put in this other valve, which is the water tower is gonna feed into the main.
Basically, it's a T.
It's a T,
Right,
yeah.
it's gonna feed water. up
So they're not
there.
putting in another drive.
No,
That's what I was thinking when you were saying curb cut.
no, it's not a driveway. They're not putting in another driveway.
It's a T, big physically sizable T fitting that they have to cut into the main line, which is right on the edge of the blacktop. In order to do so, they had to give themselves some working space, get their trench box in there.
Does water go off while they're doing that?
Well,
It's gonna have to. at some
When they do
point,
the
yeah.
tie-in,
Yeah.
very short
Okay.
amount of time.
it won't affect everybody though.
No.
It's just, they have cut off.
Safe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll shut up for them.
Yes.
So, okay. Anything else there for an update, Tracy?
I'm just trying to get some numbers and organization together, doing some, the ditching for MRGP grant, which was due by the end of September, and the roadside mowing, and get start hauling some sand here in the next week or two. And
How much sand do you think you gotta haul in this year?
probably 400 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's
Okay.
probably maybe 150 in on inventory on hand right now.
We basically went through what we purchased last year.
Correct. Yeah, so
Okay.
we're basically, what's there has been there for 1 to 2 years.
Right, right.
So
It's getting old.
It's getting old.
Yeah, it's getting old sand. Old sand.
Back.
Does it not keep?
There's expiration date. Okay,
Tracy, I have a question. I'm driving around and seeing all the ash trees that are gonna be falling pretty soon. If a tree is on private property, it falls on a town road, who's responsible for cleaning it up?
We are, once it hits the road.
Once it hits the road, it's our problem?
Yeah. I can't.
Okay, I just
can't-
wasn't sure about that. I didn't.
Once it's in the road, yeah, because our responsibility.
Okay.
Does the town have to maintain 25 feet off the road or no?
I'm sorry,
Town have to maintain the 25 feet off the road or no?
yeah.
Okay.
Right,
So anything in the right of way, basically,
yeah.
that's
A lot of.
a lot.
A lot of trees.
Yeah.
a lot of trees.
Greg said at one time, but 900.
Oh, is that,
That's a quick count. What's physically he could drive around and immediately tell what's in the right of way.
Well,
Substantial amount of trees.
it's incredible.
Be addressed.
Yeah.
we don't have that much.
You have somebody lined up there for this year or?
Yeah, I did that for him because there's some stuff there at the library that's come down on the weekend to clean up.
Okay,
All dead branches,
yeah. All right.
big things that library need to be addressed.
And then we can, come budget time there, we'll put some extra monies in the budget,
Yeah.
so. Okay, anything else, Tracy?
Shape side of that stuff, I guess.
Okay, good. Moving on, treasurer, Lisa, you're up.
Yes, it's budget time. So in front of you, you have the timeline. Pretty similar to what we did last year, and the memo that will go out to all the boards and departments next week or this week after you approve it. So that will give the boards and departments 2 months to get their budgets together to present to you the first part of November.
Okay. All right. Any other further discussion on this, on the timeline and everything? It's not like we're gonna change it. Looks good. Okay. So it's gonna start getting pretty busy. Okay. Memo and then the budget timeline, okay. And anything else on that, Lisa?
I don't have anything else. If
Okay,
you guys all approve it.
Yeah,
okay,
should we approve this timeline? Doesn't make any difference. Okay.
I don't think it really makes any difference, I don't think so,
Okay.
so. All right, moving on, radar speed signs, Corinne has done some substantial work on this.
Yeah, last meeting, you asked me to determine the cost of the speed study and for both Tracy and I to talk to South Hero about their process for when they installed the radar speed signs. So starting with the speed study, I reached out to NRPC and found out that they will perform a speed study and they don't charge for it. They said they educated me. We've been using the term traffic study, which is a big deal. But for this type of permit, what you really need is a speed study, which he said is not difficult to coordinate. He said it would take them between 2 and 3 hours and they have staff that would just do it. But he said they won't schedule it until you guys determine how you're gonna pay for the signs. He said we had a call today and that was really, I kind of wondered why he wanted to talk to me before scheduling, and that was why. He was like, so how you paying for it? Because if it's a grant, then he doesn't want to do the study until after we're awarded the grant, because for the 1111 permit, you want the data to be as recent as possible. And so he advises us, if we're gonna wait and do the grant period next spring, that we go through that process, they do the study, and then we file the 1111 permit.
Who do we apply to the grant, for the grant? to?
That depends. There are a few different opportunities.
Is it? How, is there I mean, is it likely to get the grant? Are they giving any?
He's,
clues to that?
he said that if we went through the state of Vermont, we're a very good candidate, and he would be
Okay.
surprised if we didn't get the funds. He said there are other opportunities that can be a little more competitive. But he was, our conversation was more around the speed study, and he said that is really needed for the 1111 permit and not necessarily to prove that you should have a radar speed sign or not. So,
Other grants, or is it?
I don't know. No, I didn't. That could be your next takeaway for me. At the beginning of this process, I had done a Google search and come up with 3 or 4 good potential opportunities. At that time, I was trying to determine timing. And my takeaway from that was there were no opportunities for this year. And so I think you guys were trying to determine next steps based on that. And the reason you asked me to look at a speed study was, well, maybe we should do that first and then go for the grant. It doesn't appear that that's how that works. I think the determining thing now is either you authorize just paying for it and we move ahead, because then RPC will just come out and do the speed study and we could file the 1111 and get this done this year, or we wait for the grant period and this is a next summer project.
So in this package there, it appears that it's going to, in order to, well, the purchase price is gonna be, I think we determined $8,000 to $10,000 there with, hopefully there with installation. We have ongoing costs, and that's approximately about $1,200, $1,000 to $1,200 a year in maintaining it.
What goes into maintaining?
There's a spreadsheet.
It's all right here,
If you look at,
right here,
Oh,
page 9.
okay, I see. Yeah.
so what I did was I took all the documentation that I had received from the state,
Yeah.
part of what is included here, the guidelines for the use of radar speed feedback and the 1111 permit. And I put it in AI and asked it to estimate. So this is an estimate, and certain things won't necessarily be reflective obviously in the budget, like administrative oversight is staff time, those types of things. Insurance, and the way it says optional, I would assume that's just included in our coverage with VLCT. And some of this is periodic, like you see the permit renewal in here, it's an every 2-year permit at $500. So how we budget that anyway. And then maintenance and electrical power, if we go with solar powered, how often are we gonna need batteries? So it could be where 1 year the cost is really whatever the administrative oversight and the software data packages. And then the next year it could be way more expensive. So as you all know, this is how budgeting works, but.
My feelings on this is that, I'd love to get this done as soon as possible. However, I still think we need to, or I would like to see if we can research this a little bit more. These signs, they do vary quite a bit in cost. And that could be like with battery life, that could be with, the quality of the display, this, that, and whatever. So it'd be nice if we could get a grant for a portion of this. I think in the meantime there, we should do some more research on these signs there to, and maybe call around, see, who has them and see what kind of luck they're having there with, is this something there we order off of Temu, or is it something there that we order off of Amazon, or is it,
Well, I spoke with the town administrator in South Hero, and she said that the signs they're using came with a software that provided them a lot of data. That was fun, but then it came time to renew the software, and when they looked at the cost, they were like, we don't really need this. But then they needed to go out and reprogram the signs and realize they couldn't do that without the software. So she was like, you need to be aware that there definitely are other costs and there are ongoing costs. And I don't know how you determine, and I asked Kyle this at NRPC today. I'm like, so based on what South Hero has told me, how do we research which are the user-friendly ones and what are the costs and how are they connected to the internet? Like, how do you access them? It's, and he didn't know. He was like, that's interesting. He said that he would reach out to he says he's included in a national network and he could find, he said he'd send out an email and see if anybody had any recommendations. And he suggested we reach out to the state to see if they have any recommendations. But this was similar to like the VLCT page I sent you all a link to. There was a page about radar speed signs. And the comment that I most noticed was a town that said that they had purchased signs from a US company, but it turns out they were made in Canada. And when it came time to need repair, they weren't able to get the repair because of the customs or whatever, working with the border. I don't know how you know to look for these things,
Well, that's why I'd like to get, maybe, we can dive into that a little bit deeper as far as with the, what are the parameters here, what these signs are. I'm just, and I know it's in doing some research on this, I mean, they record. So that's where the software comes in, so that they'll let you know how many people, or the cars that go by, what their speeds are and this and that, whatever. It doesn't take pictures of it or anything. I think you can actually get them there with cameras on them too, but,
What does that feed back into what? If
What's
they're
that?
recording, if they're recording the speed, who knows?
well, then you get because of the software there, then you get a data report there.
Once you purchase their software, right, it goes to here.
Yeah, yeah, because you need somebody there that then would go on out, you have to recalibrate them, you have to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. So,
Well, it seems that from speaking for myself, what I would like is a warning sign. I don't know if we're gonna do anything with the, I mean,
data.
are we gonna send Corinne out to track down who's
I mean,
who's speeding?
The town administrator in South Hero said that. She said, we got the data for a while and it was kind of fun, but only myself and the public works guy were looking at it. There was nothing tangible we could do with it. And that's why we decided not to
Well,
repurchase the
that's what
software. But then she said the software, she said they did, I don't know if the power gets lost or these things reshort, but she said they started blinking in a way that isn't consistent with their permit. And the state noticed and they were told that they need to go fix it. And that's when they realized that the software package collecting data also. And she's like, oh, we haven't been able to seamlessly get this thing back up. The bottom line is that you can't just buy two signs and stick them up.
right,
Like, there's ongoing costs and maintenance. And so we have to decide if we want to do that. Is it,
And like Tim said, what do you do with the information after that? So we have people that speed. Then what?
Yeah,
well, then you can, I guess one of the things is there, we could talk to the sheriff's department there and increase their patrolling.
And maybe it'll be by time of day.
Well,
and maybe the sheriff's department is interested in that data.
I mean, we had a traffic study done in 2020 and a municipal planning grant done, and it's very clear that you're not supposed to rely on enforcement. Like, that's not, they had a whole bunch of scenarios and this data could probably use to help us get grants to maybe implement some of these things. But most of them, the town aren't interested in doing because they require taking over ownership of US Route 2, or again, ongoing maintenance and costs, traffic calming measures.
As an anecdote, I was in Connecticut last month and they had a similar problem and they did this traffic study. And then they had a camera that would take a picture of the license plates as they went by. Problem, they had to hire someone to follow up. So even though they made money in the long run, they still had to hire someone to follow up on where are these people?
no,
overseas, they have cameras on the side of the road. They take a picture of your license plate, your speed, and they mail you the ticket.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of those. They suck.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I've gotten one of those in the DC area. I think Claire's point is it takes somebody to administer it. Like it,
Mhm.
these are all good ideas, but we want to,
One of the things I just read, because I was just looking briefly looking at the signs, can't believe how much they cost, but. One of the things I read was the generalized statement that it reduces the awareness by having it up there reduces speeding by 25%. So it's not 50, 75, but it's 25. So that's the gain.
I'm kind of leaning toward the dumber the sign, the better. So we don't have software updates. We don't have that. You know, those,
I don't think you can get around that.
you can't.
No, I mean, it requires a state permit that's gonna have to be renewed every 2 years. And if you want to be able to go like tweak the programming, like you have to have the software. Um. So, and it's gonna have to be part of somebody's job description to, you know, who do we call if a bulb goes out? Who do we call if the solar panel cracks? Who do we call if the batteries die, you know? If there's a crash, somebody hits the sign, it's town's responsibility to replace it. Um,
And it's a recession injury.
yeah, I would imagine it'd be a divide and conquer where the physical part probably rests with Tracy and the software probably with the town office, but it's another administrative cost and a,
Or somebody uses them for target practice.
yes, that's very possible.
Just seems like there should be a basic sign without software.
I mean, the software is what controls the blinking. And, you know, you get it and you're allowed to set the parameters and the state permit tells us what parameters to set. So, from my, I mean, maybe there is, but in my research, I'd be surprised from what their functionality is. If simple sign would just be what we already have. Like, if you want it to.
Yeah,
react
and
to
blinking and stuff like that, that's all simple programming. Where it gets expensive is where you're putting stuff on the cloud, collecting the
The
data
data. Yeah,
to just program it. That shouldn't be.
so
that
if it's not in the cloud, how do you access it? You go out there and
I don't know, so I'll have to. look
that's.
In a laptop or,
You stand there with a laptop and
or,
plug
you
into
know,
it.
in my mind, it should have
Yeah.
like a little control box and.
Yeah, I don't-
Program.
I don't think that, I mean, this,
Kind of like.
it sounds like we're
Like-
kicking the can down the road, but it's not. I think it's, very important there that we look into this, dive into this a little deeper.
Well, and know what we're getting into. That's the.
Correct.
That's the thing. If, I think the traffic study's good. That doesn't cost any, is traffic, you said, not
Speed.
speed study. Go ahead and get that done.
Well, he won't do it until we've determined how we're gonna pay for it, because he doesn't want the data become outdated. He
Right.
doesn't want to come and give up 3 hours of his workday for something, and then we come back in 6 months and, oh, we need it again, because we didn't do it. And so I guess the next step is, are we gonna do this now or wait for a grant?
Or could we? Could
Let's
we,
do some more research on it.
could we commit soon? And then, and to a full cost? And then apply for grants to help defray that cost. I mean, that's,
I don't know, what do you think, Lisa? In my experience, grants do not work that way,
yeah.
but you're muted. That's-
Yeah. I agree. We had I'm sorry, we had a person waiting, but they left.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
Did you see who it was?
it was a Peril Brown.
Oh. Well, I didn't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the name, so I didn't want to interrupt. I would have just let them in, but
I was just.
do we know who the grant would be with? Is it through the state?
There is one with the state, and then there is one with a national company that's just trying to promote. Let me see if I can find my list.
Well, we could look into that a little bit more for the next meeting.
Yeah, that could be the next step, is to just come back with more information on the grant opportunities. It sounds like Carl would like to know more about the signs.
Well, you know, like Joe said there, I mean, whether or not we have to really collect the data or you know, are we going to utilize that? I'm sure the sheriff's department may be interested there in seeing what the data is, but, you know, in the meantime there, we're paying for this data and what are we gonna do with it?
Yeah.
And, you know, if the traffic calming there is 25%, well, that's significant, but, I just think that we ought to look into these signs there a little bit more to make it, and I agree with your statement there, Tim. I'd like to make it as simple as possible. But just a regular cautionary sign,
Yeah,
because we have it on both ends, recreation area 25. Well, we see how well that works.
yeah, well, I like the
So-
feedback that the signs give you, of telling people their speed. I think that's probably the 25% effective, but, I'm not so much interested in collecting all the data and being
Right,
connected to
so-
the cloud. And
So perhaps we can find something there that the software is not that entailed, that it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's just for the setup and the
It doesn't
maintain.
require
maintenance.
maintenance. and-
Well, you have
It would
to,
require
you have to
some
test the machines there, so if you have to recalibrate it
Yeah,
or whatever, but
See, like
try
this
to
one-
keep it as simple as possible.
This
So-
one is Wi-Fi based control, so I'm assuming you probably download an app for your phone. And then Wi-Fi into it.
You're looking for two of them, one at each end of the.
Correct. Yeah,
Yes,
they can't be mounted on the same pole post. So,
Could a security camera work?
If we have somebody to read it and we'll extrapolate the data and find the notices, and it's becoming like a
Okay.
detective, but. Yeah,
I think it's gonna be mainly there to just catch people's eye there to. And you're not gonna, it's not 100% foolproof, so,
Hmm.
but I'd like to look into these signs a little bit more.
I agree.
There's a lot of them out there.
There's quite a few, and they're all over the place there,
Amazon,
price wise.
$23.99.
oh boy, I bet that's a good sign.
Okay, so
So what would you like the next steps to be?
I would like the next step to be there, more info on the actual units. And then, of course, the grant, we need to find out about potential grants. And timelines. And they say more info there, you know, really the specifications of the signs there, software, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
All right. Any other further discussion on this? Hearing none, fire station public works garage project, public meeting August 21st. That is a informational meeting there that the building committee, the subcommittee, will be hosting. And we'll see what kind of feedback we get from people. That's Thursday.
What time is that? 6?
Yeah, I believe it's 6 o'clock. Urging all the subcommittee members to be present. Okay, moving on, development regulations amendment, scheduled hearing, and then we have discussion of the regulations, so.
You want to have this, I think, before the scheduled hearing?
What's that?
You want to have discussion before the scheduling of the hearing? All right. The way it's listed here, it's scheduled to be on.
Well. Schedule hearing. We need to schedule a hearing, right?
don't we have one for, the night before the vote? The select board is having a meeting on that.
No, this is on the, well,
That's for the,
this is on the bylaws.
Oh, okay.
Did we go back and make corrections on the stuff that was missing?
Yeah,
That's good to go.
One already.
Which is probably, is that why you wanna have discussion first?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in starting to look through this, I only, so far, I've only seen two things that kind of caught my attention. And one was the, density, 5.2 density and other dimensional standards for the lakefront and regulated under the Vermont Shoreline Protection Act. And yes, that was voted on by the PC and that was the way it was. But then after their public hearing, there was a lot of feedback about, well, you need more standards and the DRB would need more. And this is not to make a motion on this tonight. This is just to think about it. And I think that there was a very friendly suggestion of 75 feet. So it would read regulated under the Vermont Shoreland Protection Act and 75-foot setback.
Which is what it was prior to years ago.
What I really said was comma 75-foot minimum.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
so,
definitely, no, we should definitely consider that, you know.
And while we're on that subject, just to make it clear, I looked at the statutes. I don't believe at this point, the planning commission can take any action on that.
Right.
I think it starts the whole process over. So, that was me as a citizen making that recommendation. We can probably get other members of the planning commission to chime in, maybe during your public hearing. We happen to have,
Yeah, came to support.
Yes,
so there's two,
all right,
but.
yep,
I
that's
mean,
something,
I'd like to say we'll take it back to the planning commission. Recommendation. Sorry, that would be violating the statute.
well, I know that I've had numerous conversations there with people. And I guess it all boils down to these, you know, if you won't say non-conforming or non-complying parcels, which we have about 80% of our properties here are fit into that category.
Yeah.
And I guess what was being looked at is to say, well, the state would grant a waiver or a variance. So it doesn't mean there that you're not doing anything in that 100 feet. They could say, no, you can go ahead and, you know, looking at the circumstances here and there, whatever, you're okay to go. The feedback that I've been getting there is that people would like to say, well, nothing's gonna happen there in 75 feet, you know? And so that's something there that, you know, I've heard from a number of people. And I think that that's something there that the select board here should take into consideration. So that when we do our discussions on this, you know, that we can add that, you know, the PC has handed this over to the select board now. Just like last time there, we'll, you know, it's up to us here now to determine there. If we're gonna add anything or get rid of anything, whatever, so.
Just like to add that, the definition of non-conforming lots, as far as the state's concerned, and as far as the towns are concerned, are different. They're, you know, the town, if it's smaller than 2 acres,
Right.
It's non-conforming. The state doesn't care about the lot size. They care about how close to the lake you are.
Yeah.
So it's just want to make that clear.
Okay.
And I'll just also point for what I'd like to see what our neighbors to the south are doing. As of right now, South Hero still has straight 75-foot setback from the lake, period. Grand Isle has the exact same language we do.
Yeah.
Forms with the Shoreland Protection Act.
Okay,
So,
all right. Well. All right, I'll leave that up to, hopefully people can chime in and talk to select board members on this.
So there is one other one, and that's on signage.
Claire already has this. There was a clerical error when we turned our document over to the select board. And I'll take responsibility because I helped put the final one together. But at the end of the day, we all missed it. Don't we?
Thank you.
This was the intended change to the signage.
My concern at this point is you could have one sign that is 4x8, which is basically what this screen is.
Correct.
That's pretty big.
Well, we had it,
I know,
so.
it was pretty big. Oh, and then if you break it down, was it 2x2, you could have 8 signs, and then you have quantity. So I like that political signs have been included. I do like that part. But I don't know, personally, I don't know that 32 square feet is excessive.
I think 4x8 is a little large.
Okay, we're having our discussion on this.
I just what when the other thing we did was eliminate the maximum number of signs. And because I don't think we can do that, especially on political signs.
Right.
It really gets, and Harry brought this up when it came up before, that get into people's First Amendment rights of free speech. So I
So,
don't think we can limit the number of signs. The state, Secretary of State has rules regarding signs, and they do say the town can limit the size of signs.
well, so the number of signs, so this is not, cumulative, so I mean, it's, you could have 10 4x8 signs.
No, the way we have it worked, 32 square feet total,
Total,
so you could have one
but,
32.
so in essence, you are limiting the number of signs,
Yeah, I guess you are,
so,
yeah.
that's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at,
And you
so.
still have free speech. You just
Yeah.
don't have it, it's not repetitious.
And did anything come up there as far as to say, well, whether it's 32 square feet or whether it be 16 square feet or?
No, we just thought that, one sheet of plywood was not unreasonable. And we went through several iterations on this before we came up with where we are now. We'll leave it in your capable hands at this point.
Okay, and
So I have,
what? Well, I'm just on this a little bit here, just because, so when you say there, the signs shall be promptly removed when they have fulfilled their function. I know that some places there have a time frame that signs may go up, like, for say, 2 weeks ahead.
Yep.
And then they're removed after the election or whatever.
The state has rules on that regarding political signs, yes.
So is that something there, whether or not the town?
Yeah, I guess what we talked about, and personally, because I saw what Danielle went through last year. I don't ever want to see a ZA go through that again.
Right.
We have her for 8 hours a week, and I don't think it's good use of her time to go around town counting signs.
Correct.
So that was a consideration.
Mhm.
and back then, the political signs weren't included. In fact,
No, well, and she did her job. She interpreted what was written in our regulations, and they were stuck on people's lawns, so she had to consider them lawn signs maximum too.
Yeah.
It blew up in there,
Okay,
all the way to Texas.
All right. Okay, that's good food for thought.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Pat. Okay,
What, is there a definition of what a political sign is?
There's a good question.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm thinking about a situation in Alberg a few years ago, you know. And I'm trying to figure out how to prevent somebody from being a little bit pushing the limit,
Yeah,
you know, put
Secretary.
up a 4x8 sign that says, I love so-and-so. They're in office for 4 years. What constitutes temporary?
yeah,
I'm on the Secretary of State's website. There's a lot of good information here
Yeah.
about political signs. And most of it, I mean, let's see, there's a lot. So here's the second category. There's 6 different sections. You know, and the one that probably pertains to us is temporary political
Yeah.
campaign signs on public or private property may also be regulated by either a local sign ordinance or municipal zoning bylaw, which is just a type of ordinance. They can't be banned altogether, but they may be regulated by reasonable, non-discriminatory rules as to size, location, and duration that apply equally to all temporary signs. So that's the qualifier there. We can say you can only have 2 square feet, but everybody has to be under that rule.
Mhm.
So, I'm not,
that's what I gave you today.
yeah.
okay.
Well, that's a good point, Joe, because if we're talking about, I assumed you're talking about campaign signs, but it doesn't say
It
that.
says political campaign signs,
Yeah. so
temporary
maybe we need
political
to
campaign
add the
signs.
Campaign.
Oh, because here it just says temporary auction lawn, political or garage
Yeah,
sale.
yes, so maybe we need to have the word campaign there.
I don't know. I'd like to find ways to tighten it up though. I mean, Vermont's famous for the middle fingers, right? It's got like, what,
Well,
four
yeah.
now, I think?
Um,
We don't want to get into a situation like that in
No.
this town.
all right,
That's considered art. That's,
well, then we should take that all into consideration. And we'll have some further discussions on this. Now, scheduling a hearing. When do you have the timelines on that?
so we have to schedule something within 120 days of your last meeting.
Right.
I did not compare.
I think it's
Okay.
December 4th.
Well, thank you, Andy.
Give me a date, maybe.
But that's the end.
That's the.
That's the end,
that's the last.
Yeah. No,
Well, I was thinking the discussion tonight might be more, we want to have so many conversations or get so much information or and then shoot for a certain month, but we can definitely just schedule it. Get up on the calendar.
You really can't make a whole lot of amendments to what you guys have already written, right? Or can you?
what, make more?
No,
Yeah.
No, like, it's like I said, we'd have to start the process over. Bring something. up.
However, the select board can make changes.
So how soon do you think, so that I know which month to look at to throw out dates that are open in the meeting room? I would not think you'd want to do September with the special election happening.
I was thinking October, but
Okay, so let me just pull up the meeting room calendar. It looks like the 14th, which is a Tuesday. The 16th, which is a Thursday. Or we could coordinate it with one of your regularly scheduled meetings, which would be October 6th or October 20th. The 6th, I believe the office will be closed. Not that has to pertain to it. No, maybe it's the 13th.
I think it's the 13th.
Yeah. So never mind.
Well,
What do you say? Would it be safe to say the 20th, October 20th?
That's what I'm thinking.
You could schedule it for 7 after your regularly scheduled meeting.
That'll be the informational meeting.
And do you want this on the agenda prior to that to keep the discussion going
Yep.
for you?
Yes, please. You'll second.
I am.
All right, policy review, appropriation, policy discussion. We have the procurement policy. And procurement and policy changes since the initial review.
Okay. So appropriations policy discussion. Last budget season, you asked me to bring back up on the agenda review of our current appropriations policy. You would like to just review the current process and perhaps make tweaks to how people request appropriations. I let you know that in July, and then I let you know that I was also trying to work through general policy review for federal grant.
Have a good evening.
In
Thank you, Pat.
anticipation of our single audit,
Mhm.
which took longer than I expected, and now we're at the beginning of budget season. So I don't necessarily recommend that we start changing.
I would
policies on people.
highly recommend against changing.
So my question to you is, when would you like me to bring it back? I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't review it while we're moving through. It might actually give us a better idea of what we don't like, rather than trying to bring it back half a year later and. try and-
Just not changing.
Well, we could keep track of changes as we move along and then
Yeah,
perhaps.
not, don't have a vote to.
Yeah, and then maybe after the March meeting,
Yeah.
when everything's finalized, we could vote.
Start off the new year with it.
And that would give me
Yeah.
time to let our appropriations people know that. Well, I could maybe send that out with their notice of this year's appropriation.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I think the next agenda then I will have a discussion like on just like a general. Does that counter what I just said? Like if we start, do you want to wait until we're moving through it?
Why don't we wait until we move through
Okay,
it
so-
and then we can,
And so,
because I think that'll all be in
Fresh
front
in
of our
mind.
heads here.
so what I'm gonna do then, I'll send out in September, beginning of September, I usually send out reminders to everybody that the process is starting. And your requests are due by the second week in October, and then your third meeting in October, you review the requests. So I'll also have on that October meeting, just a general appropriation policy review. So just with like the agenda, I mean, the policy itself as it currently sits attached. And which may be, so looking at these to review alongside the current policy might help us.
And I'd just keep an ongoing discussion on it and then keep notes on it.
Okay,
Because, I mean, I don't wanna delve into something there in October for something there that we're not gonna act on until, let's say, April.
okay.
Does that make any sense?
It does to me, I want it to be transparent to the public. So if I'm listening to you guys and I'm just used to working with you and I think, okay, they don't like this, they don't like this, and I'm making notes in the sideline. And then 3 months later, we've got a brand new policy.
No, we can continue the discussion.
Okay,
I mean, that's, I don't have any problems there continuing discussion on it. And that's very transparent.
you also want to keep the packet size down.
Well, we'd like to try to keep that down too,
Okay,
and,
okay.
so,
That
I
gives
mean, this is kind of you know, it's been working for us in the past, the way that we have it set up. I'm sure that it can be tweaked.
Okay. I
So-
guess, you know, in the past, I've just kind of brought you a draft and said, here's what I recommend. I think with this time, there are a lot of moving parts to this. And, I'm not 100% clear what I think you guys would. prefer. So I think on this one, where I'm coming from is I might like a little more guidance where how to start. Cause what we've been using for so long. And often in the past, when I just bring a policy and say, here, it's a template, either based on a VLCT or things I've seen other towns use, and I have a strong reason for recommending it. And with this one, there are some things I want to clean up to make in-office processes smoother, but I don't necessarily have a preference for if you guys want all requests to have a petition, or if you want, you know, to make it easier or harder, or. So anyway, we'll work on it. We'll bring it back in October. I'll have
Okay.
time to think about it.
All right. Procurement policy.
So the water board unanimously recommended the procurement policy, as you see in your packet, be forwarded to you all for approval. Carl requested that I send this draft to all the board and committee chairs in advance of this meeting because it will affect them, so they have the chance to give feedback. I was preparing for this meeting and thinking, oh, that's odd, I haven't heard from anybody. And I went in my email and it was still sitting in my outbox. So I don't recommend we do anything tonight because these other boards, I know. It was completely finished and proofed and it had attachments. I don't know if the phone rang or what, but it didn't go out. So I'm gonna bring that back to the next meeting.
Okay,
Did you all have anything?
I'm gonna hold on to this then, so you don't have to reprint.
Okay, I won't add it to the next
Okay.
packet.
Matter of fact, here, I'm gonna put it, if you all would like to do this so that we can save a little money on printing.
I mean, honestly, it's in the packet so that it's for the vote, it's for the people, transparency, but. That's what I got.
Okay,
Thank you. Sorry about
thank,
that.
thank you. And we on to correspondence. So this is just from Georgia, Vermont. With their stuff. And, so at this point in time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to.
Well-
Go ahead.
Future agenda item. The owl.
Mm,
I didn't see it on here.
No, for the future,
Oh, for the future.
future agenda item.
Okay, future agenda item there, the owl. Hooty hoo. Okay,
And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Joe makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Claire seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? We're adjourned at 6:13 PM. Thank you, Lisa.
Good night, all.
night,
Good
Lisa.
night.
Have a great trip, Corinne.
Thank you.